different kind of a Lipsessed video I'm gonna be recording today, and, kind of a PSA or an FYI type of a video. I don't want anyone to think this is hate or shade or anything, because it's not. Kayla's still a great person, we're still friends, this has nothing to do with anything like that. I am not hating on the brand, but I discovered a pretty big flaw with it. So, how do I put this mildly? So you guys know that I've been trying to review more and more of the Lipsessed that I have bought in the past year, and like alternate a new one for an old one and new one, old one, so that I would cycle through and get them all reviewed. You'll also remember that I had that really weird nightmare, which I still feel like a lame ass even calling it that, since, I mean, that should not even be called that, but where, like, literally all of them had gone bad and moldy. And I was like, well, that was a freaking stupid-ass nightmare, but okay, whatever. That may have been a premonition, as it turns out. I went through the Lipsessed Instagram feed to try and figure out what are my oldest ones, which ones do I really need to review ASAP. And I found, like, the furthest one back, and I was fully planning on reviewing it yesterday. Like, no questions asked, just was gonna do it, get it done and over with, to try and mitigate any issue of it going bad. And I opened it, and oh dear sweet Jesus, you guys have seen the issues I've had with the Pogo lip balms, where they look like they have freaking warts all over them, and did almost from day one, because they did something wrong in the way they produced them, and that's all bacterial growth. Yeah, this looked just like that. So I took pictures, I sent them to Kayla and was like, oh my god, I don't know if this is a one-off fluke, but this happened with Very Berry Cheesecake, and she went and checked hers, and she's like, oh man, mine looks the same. Damn, yeah, that does look expired, because I want to see if maybe there was another explanation she could think of for maybe why it might look like that, other than it being hardcore expired, but no, it's definitely bad. So I went digging through to find the next oldest one. Same thing. So then I just started going through the box of ones I still need to review, and oh my god. So many of them. Some of them not even that old yet. Have this. So, now we know a general gist for their shelf life. It is not 2 years. It is not 2 years, unfortunately. At best case scenario, you might, if you're very lucky and have very good conditions for it, might get 1 year out of some of them. Some of them. A lot of them, probably not, but some of them. However, there were some as recent as September that were just like that. The ones that I found were the hardest hit, though, were from summer. Like, almost all the summer ones are wiped out. And, I mean, that at least gives me a point of basis in reference in thinking, okay, I may have a theory here for what has happened. Which is not Kayla's fault, it's just science, unfortunately. But, it's weird because there's certain really old ones that are still perfectly fine. Like, some of my oldest ones are still 100% spotless. So those I'm still planning on reviewing, but the ones that are expired, I'm sorry, I cannot, in good conscience, bring myself to put on my mouth. I don't think anybody can hold that against me. A lot of you are probably going, see, I told you shouldn't have waited so long to review that. Yeah, you know what? Bite me. You try balancing things out equally with so many products that you have on hand that you need to review, and not have some casualties along the way, alright? Just saying. However, if I'd known that the shelf life would be so very short with these, yeah, I probably would have just said screw it about trying to space things out more evenly, and just block reviewed them as I got them. I had no idea this was going to happen with this brand. I've had other 100% organic brands, never had this happen once, and they're older than this. So, I don't know. I think it has to do with specific ingredients and just the way things are made. I don't know. I'll come back to that, but yeah, I mean, part of it, on some of the oldest ones, yeah, that's on me, but on some of the ones that aren't as old, I'm like, that really shouldn't have expired that fast. And again, not Kayla's fault, but I have a theory here. Now, she said that she has noted on ones that had too high of a flavor oil to wax ratio, as the wax ages, it often will push the oils out of the wax to the sides inside the tube. So then you roll it up and it's like soaking wet. So alright. On the ones that has happened with, this makes perfect sense why this is an issue, because you have an enclosed space with moisture, you have organic material in there that is the balm itself, and then you throw in like summer heat for like all the summer ones. That is a perfect recipe for mold. So it makes sense why there'd be bacterial growth. Luckily, I didn't find full-on hardcore mold in very many. I only found 3 that had that one, which was full-on green mold, and that one almost made me hurl. That one I would show you, but is literally in the trash. I'm not digging that back out. I'm sorry. No. I didn't even get through checking all of my collection, and as soon as I found that, I just felt sick and was like, nope, I'm stopping for today. I'll come back to this another time, but no. But, I did find this many that were hardcore expired that I never even got to review. I didn't even get to checking the ones I have reviewed. I'm sure there's more that are hiding out in there that are expired too. But, yeah, kind of a bummer, especially when thinking how much money I've thrown at this brand since, last year. So, nobody pointed out to me. I know. But again, brands like Crazy Rumors and My Lip Stuff are also 100% organic materials in them. Never had this happen once, and I have had those way longer than I've had even the oldest ones of these. I've had those 2 years, some of them 3 years, and at worst, they smell stale on some of them. But they've, like, never gotten the weird little warts all over it. They've never had bacterial growth issues. Not a one. So, yeah, that's why I figured, you know, I'm going through them at a steady enough pace. I'll get them all covered. Evidently, that was not the case with this particular brand. And it makes me really, really sad, because these are such unique flavors that you don't see anywhere else. Nowhere else carries some of these. And they're so spot on, and it just breaks my heart. Some of the ones I was looking the most forward to reviewing for you guys are some of the ones that are now unusable. And I'm just like, oh my god. If I had the funds to commission her to remake all of these for me that went bad so that I could just ASAP go through them all and do it properly for you, I would. I don't have that kind of money to throw at them a second time, especially if they're gonna expire that quickly, you know? I'm not gonna lie, it does make me hesitant to keep throwing money at this brand hand over fist as frequently as I do every time there's a release, if the shelf life is this short. Yeah, I mean, I'm just very torn. I'm very, very torn. Because it's a really good product in and of itself. But, I mean, there's gotta be some sort of natural ingredient that can be used as a natural preservative to prevent this from happening. Because obviously other brands have it figured out. Maybe I need to, like, go send some messages around, ask around a bit, see if there's, like, some hidden thing that needs to be utilized that could possibly be implemented here that I can pass on this info with, because if that's the case, I'd be happy to keep buying them. But as it stands right now, I just am very, very hesitant. I mean, of the ones that I have that are still good, I'm still gonna review. Don't worry, I'm not gonna just, like, never speak of this brand again. Oh my god, they're blacklisted. No. And I'm not saying you shouldn't buy, because, I mean, when they're brand new, yeah, they're perfectly fine. And all of these, when I first got them, none of them looked like this, so it's not like they came this way. It's not like it was some user error and she sent out bad shit from the get-go. No. Whenever I get Lipsessed, I always open them immediately because I want to smell all the things, and I always take a look at them because there have been a few occasions where something was off. There was one that, out of all of them that I've ever bought, that came spoiled one time, and that was probably because it was in the heat of the frickin' summer, like over 100 degrees out, and it had to cross the entire country with varying fluctuations of temperatures in that time. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that something wonky happened with one. I'm surprised it wasn't with more than one, in all honesty. But, she did replace that one because it came messed up. These did not come messed up, so no, I do not expect her to replace a thing that didn't come defective. This happened after I had them. So, I don't know. It seems like there's gotta be a trick to keeping them fresh for a longer period of time, because, like I said, there's some as recent as September that have already turned. The weather wasn't even hot here, for the most part, anymore in September, so riddle me that, Batman. I don't know. I don't know. It just does make you wonder, like, what the heck? What is it with some of these? And yet others that are older ones are still perfect. I also have to wonder if maybe certain flavor oils have like a different solubility, if maybe some of them are just more naturally problematic, because I have noticed that the very berry ones, those pretty much all have had issues. The mixed berry ones largely had issues. The marshmallow ones largely had issues. There's other flavors, not so much. Citric ones, a lot of them had issues. Not all, but a lot of them had issues. So, the entire popsicle collection, for instance, was wiped out. I was like, really? I was looking forward to those too, but what can you do? Again, I thought I had more time to review these in, because all the other organic brands that I review, they sit around for friggin' years before I get to them. They're still fine. So what the hell? I mean, again, I'm not blaming Kayla. This is some sort of, it's almost like a science experiment, you know? And it's still, like, a brand in its infancy, more or less. It's a one-person operation. There's a lot of variables here to come into play. I mean, it's entirely possible, since she buys tubes from various vendors, you know what? It is entirely possible. It could be something that was on the inside of some of the tubes when she got them. Maybe there was some type of bacteria in some of them, and not others. That is even a possibility. There is a ton of variable possibilities that could be to blame for this. That also goes for the caps, because the caps come separate too, because she buys them by color, and I guess by the best price she can get for them in those colors. So there's just a lot of things here that could possibly contribute to this. But it does make me sad, and I was trying to figure out, is like, to connect the dots, is there any like common themes here? Just the only real big thing I noticed, though, was a lot of the summer ones were the worst hit out of anything. The ones from colder months, not so much. Although there were exceptions, there were some that were from colder months that were completely wiped out. But, yeah. See, if it's just like, for instance, if it were only on, say, the top surface, like right here, but not on any of the rest of the stick, I've seen that before. I chop that off. That's what my little sanitation knife is for. That is exactly what I use it for, and the rest of it's still fine. That is still usable at that point. I always try to make sure I cut down at least 1/4 of an inch, just to make sure, because I know how mold works. There's spores, and it's like veiny underneath. What you see on top is just the tip of the iceberg, so you have to make sure you're getting beneath where it could be growing that you're not seeing with the naked eye. And usually beyond that point, it's fine. If I had been thinking to check these, a lot of them probably did start on surface level, and if I had nipped it in the bud, I might have been able to mitigate this. But again, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. Unfortunately, nobody knew this was going to be a thing. And I messaged a couple other people that I know also collect Lipsessed. It seems I'm not the only one who has experienced this. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's not that she uses cheap ingredients. She doesn't. She actually uses very high quality ingredients, so that's not the issue. So it's just a matter of pinpointing what exactly is it that has happened here, and how do you move forward and prevent it from happening again, you know? Because, I mean, obviously they're going to have a shelf life. They're going to expire after a set amount of time, more or less. But that quickly shouldn't lead to these sort of results. This is not a minor thing. These are, like, hardcore expired. As somebody who has a massive lip balm collection, I've seen things that are mildly expired that are still usable, and then there's the hardcore expired ones where literally every surface of it is fucked up. the ones in this box over here are in the latter category. Because if they were still salvageable, I would have done, oh yeah, the sanitation knife thing, maybe even a little swipe of rubbing alcohol to try and clean the remainder of the surface, and move on with my life. But, no, these, it's all over. A couple of them, it was really weird, because it'd be like, 3/4 of it is covered, but there's like one little strip that's pristine. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, that's even more curious to me, and I'm like, what even happened here? Now, there's a different thing with Lipsessed that happens that is not spoilage that you may have seen, and that's with the flavor oils. Like, you can see the color, like, beat up in little dots along the sides. That's not spoilage, that's just the flavor oils redistributing around. That's different. That's a separate thing. That's, they're still usable as of that point. And that I've seen with other brands, too. That's still okay. But when you see the little warty bumps pop up, nope, that's bacterial growth. Do not use that. If it's on a surface you can take off of it, like at the top surface, go ahead and chop it off and you keep using, but if it's all over it, you gotta toss it. So, yeah, unfortunately I have a bad feeling a lot of you are gonna chime in the comments, be like, oh shit, I just looked at my Lipsessed's and I just found this too. I feel like I need to say it as an FYI, because I know a lot of kids get these, and they probably have no idea what this means, and could be something, potentially putting something on their mouth of all places that could be making them sick, essentially, by using that, because it's bacteria. And I don't know what type of bacteria lives in there, but I know that if you leave it alone long enough, that is what turns into mold. So whatever bacteria that may make it, that's what you find there. I'm not a scientist, although I did study science pretty hardcore when I was in school still. That was one of my favorite subjects, but just saying, it's weird. It's very weird. That why is it just this one brand? What is it about this process? Kayla even also had a theory too. I wonder if the heat I used to melt the wax at had anything to do with it. And I asked her why. Do you think it was hotter or colder? And she didn't answer, so I don't know. But it could be another variable. I don't know. I was trying to give her a list of all the ones that were expired, so since she knows how she made each of these products, maybe she can figure out, okay, what did I do on these that was different from the ones that didn't go bad? I figured provide her with as much info as possible, so maybe she can troubleshoot it. Unfortunately, I feel like she got like a vibe that I was like criticizing or blaming her, which was not at all my intention. I just wanted to provide her with as much info as humanly possible on this so she can maybe figure out what to do in moving forward, because I don't want to see her brand go under. I'd love to see it flourish, but I'd also like to see it have more staying power than this, you know? So that's why I'm like, I'm torn. I'm very torn on this. So, I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear them. Please hold your tongue if you're just going to tell me that, well, you're stupid because you waited too long to review them. Yeah, I know. But again, I have other organic brands that are perfectly fine. They're like 3 years old, and some of these are like 6 months old and completely expired. Actually, the one that had full-on green mold was one of the younger ones. So, just saying, that shouldn't be a thing that quickly, at all, ever. So, if it were a one-off, I could see it as a fluke, but in these numbers, this is a sign that there's something up. There's something up with this. That said, I'm still gonna review a Lipsessed today. This one is pristine. I went and double-checked it with like a fine-tooth comb, but yeah, I'm not gonna stop reviewing them. I may be more hesitant about buying them, but I'm still going to be reviewing the ones I got, so. I'm not saying that I'm swearing off the brand, I just, right now, I just have a lot of questions still. Maybe once there's more answers, or if there's a solution that might help fix this, I'd feel better about continuing to buy from it, but anyway. I just feel really bad timing-wise that this coincided with her opening an Etsy shop to sell them on. I'm like, I swear I'm not doing this to try and screw her over in any way, shape, or form. I just want you guys to be informed about this and know that when they hit this point, they're not safe to use, alright? so that's it for me on this. I went on way longer on this tangent than I meant to. I'm sorry for that. But, yeah. Again, what are your thoughts? I'd be interested to hear them. So, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below, follow my social media accounts, they're listed down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support, the donation link, as always, is in the description. So anyway, guys, until next time, bye.